I think we'll be starting irrespective of the number of participants who have joined. Today, first, we'll be talking about the ideas of innovation and few research projects, how we can move ahead for that. And then we'll talk about the research, inductive and deductive. And then we'll be talking about the central tendency and data. As we have very few hours with us, uh, I will be sharing with you few PPTs and documents. You should be reading that. And actually, these sessions are more for the purpose of discussion and understanding. So, the objective of this session for first few minutes that you should be able to think of some innovations in medical field and health field. Medical field directly related with the treatment of the patients, and health field both treatment at the grassroots level as well as the prevention also. And based on that, then you write down the projects and project proposal for the tune of, let's say, 30 lakhs, 40 lakhs, like that. And then you submit the funding agencies. For example, we can talk of anemia detection, which is still prevalent. And I was thinking of one story that there was a village RD in Petla Taluk of Anand district, and that was selected RHPC, Rural Health Training Center of Karamsad Medical College. And the treatment what we usually give is iron folic acid and dietary advice or treatment of malaria or treatment of hookworm, etc. But the patient used to discontinue the iron folic tablet once they feel better. And you know that iron folic tablet, even if it goes for 1 week or 2 weeks, patient will definitely feel better. And then because they were discontinuing treatment after 1 or 2 weeks, what can be done? So what we started use of the mirror and asked patient to compare the tongue in the mirror along with the doctor's tongue. But then in this case, what happens that the when this method is used by the health workers themselves were anemic, so they can't compare their own tongue with the patient's tongue. So what we did, the in the center we kept the mirror, and surrounding that the watercolor, natural colors, etc., were used in different shades, and ultimately photographs were used. And then the instrument was labeled as multi-purpose, universally applicable, knowledge sharing instrument, treatment tracker, affordable by all. And this Mukta is now is used at a more than 1.25 lakh places, and it is available in all Indian languages. So this is how the it was possible to find out the anemia detection poster. This is a design. Initially, it was a pictures of the tongue and lips, but now there is another version available where the rose colors are there, and in between a mirror is applied. And on the back side of the poster, the details is written. What are the problems due to anemia? What are the causes of anemia? What are the solutions for anemia? And what is the list of iron-rich food and the health slogans? And the there is no need of going for hemoglobin level for all the population. Very low cost self-examination possible. People can track themselves There is no need of repeated tricks, and they can measure their progress regularly, and the compliance of medicine increase because of this. And the because at the same time same person uses, then the bias you can reduce. Currently, also lakhs of people are using this anemia detection poster at a various places. And the idea is, if there is a problem, how to tackle that problem, how to think about this. Then, whenever you are starting some research and you want to remove some disease, or if you want to find out a solution of a problem, so it is necessary that at least 5 times you ask the question why. And if possible, try to consider this as an assignment. And you can say that, suppose your the question is to find out why malaria, or why typhoid, or why diabetes, something like that. Then I will give an example. If you are asking why malaria, then you will have two, three reasons, that there is a mosquito, infected mosquito, and other thing is reduction in immunity. Then you first further ask the question, why reduction in immunity? Then you can have the stress, and then lack of proper nutrition, etc. On its other side, if there is a, let's say, infected mosquito, why infected mosquito? Because there is a mosquito breeding, and mosquito has access to the patient. Why infected patient? Because they are taking inadequate treatment or not taking prompt treatment, like this. Now, again, this you ask another question: why this? So, similarly, if you prepare a web of position by asking 5 times, at the end you will get a lot of the risk factors or positive factors, and then you find out which you should be able to target, or which one is more effective, whether it is you are capable of doing it or not. And I think if you do this exercise, it will be very much beneficial, and consider this as an assignment. Now, if there is a effect already there, but then how much it is going to affect the population? Suppose if you are taking a question of diabetes, it's okay. Is there is a diabetes, so what? That means, if there's a diabetes, means there's likelihood of more complications, like the kidney damage, the heart damage, there may be a gangrene, etc. There could be a lot of problems. Other side, they need to go for the treatment, they need to go for the blood test, etc. Now, this thing, against this, ask, if they have to go to the doctor, what is wrong? Doctor will earn a lot, no problem. If they have to go laboratory, what is wrong? They may earn more. Let laboratory earn. Not like that. If they have to go to the laboratory, then the time consumption will be there. They have to spend the money. Then they have to there is a likelihood of the infection, etc. And then further ask, if they need to spend, what is wrong with that? So for each effect, if you ask the question, so what? So in the center you have a problem, and on top the web of position why, and in downstairs, so what? In that case, if you draw a full picture of any problem, then you will have a full web of position, and you will be able to find out the answer, or you can have a direction. So fundamental of starting any research will be, if you uh, select a problem carefully, and then prepare a web of position, and prepare of web of effect and impact, then you should start your research study. And if there are 100 students or 30, 40 students, each one of them, they may make a group of four or five, take other different types of problems. When they collate the different problems, probably web of fact and web of position, that may be similar to some extent, and then they can collectively affect the cause to prevent the effect of multiple problems. Once you have prepared web of causation, web of effect, then the next question would be, what is to be done? How can I do this? And collectively, if you are a group of four or five people, if you're maybe 100 people, then what you can do collectively. I will, just like anemia, I give you another example how this thing can happen. A doctor went in a village at night for the purpose of meeting, and the doctor was not able to see the path properly, while the villagers were comfortably walking on the path, and doctor has to move after the villagers. And then the doctor thought about it, why this happened. Is it because of poor diet? Why there is a late detection? There could be so many the accidents at night because of this problem. The doctor himself had a low night vision, but didn't knew about this. Then in another village, people used to come back in a village before 5 p.m. When inquired why so, they answered that they are having a night blindness. And because of night blindness, all of them were coming before 5 p.m. When they were given vitamin A, and after 1 week, again the mobile clinic went in the same village, none of them present before 5 p.m. Now they continue to work in the field for longer hours. So it's such a problem and impacting so many people. So when you go to the community, it need not necessarily that you go to the community in a the horizontal matter. That means a slum area or the society like that. There could be a vertical also. Schools, colleges, institute, railway station, bus stand. There are so many places where the study can be taken. And this is how, to find out night blindness, we started searching how we can do about it. So the instrument was prepared, because initially we thought that we can have a small room and then we can find out the increase or decrease the light and find out night blindness. But that room we will not be able to carry everywhere. That's why the darkness was prepared in the instrument, and we could find out vitamin A deficiency by this instrument. And there is another thing is if there is a deficiency of vitamin A, suppose, or other vitamins, but this simple software, which is very handy, and I will be giving this software to all of you. You should install it possible today, so you need not spend anything, and there will be many research points you will be finding out from this software itself, which will give you the nutritive value of the food, source of nutrients. You can also calculate how much nutrients you got it. And this will be on nutrition research if you want to do. This software will be very useful. So ultimately, our investigation to find out which pathi is good, that continues. And at some point of time, all of you will be able to join, because soon we'll be starting our lifestyle project for the purpose of PhD. These are the some pictures. Now we'll be going to another topic. This is how ideas of the some few innovative ideas. Now we'll be talking about the medical research. Here I will give you a few examples, and I hope that at the end of today's session, you will be searching intensively your research project, which project you are going to take. And the next time will be taking about how to write a project proposal so that according to you, write your project proposal on Wednesday, and then we'll be discussing further the data collection, data analysis for that project. Now, why we should be doing research? All those who are attending have lots of ideas and excitement also that we want to find out something new. It will also add to your prestige and it will fulfill your passion, and you'll also get a recognition and you will be able to publish few research papers for the faculty. It is must.
யோகா கிளாஸ்
Anyone?
யாருமே சொல்லல
You want to ask something? You want to ask something? So why, while we do the research, there will be critical attitude. And when you prepare a research project, all of you should be able to share in the group, and at least one critic for each and every project proposal has to be there. And critical attitude is very important. Then you will have a chance to study something in depth. Use the library. Now we'll be doing it online search, but physically also the offline search is also good idea. Then the various skills will be developed. Also try to meet friends and collect the data, exchange the data. You support their research, they support your research. Suppose there are 100 students in the classroom and there are 20 groups. So each group can support each other. Then the data collection will be easier. Now, in the scientific research, what we do the inquiry systematically for few people or few communities, specific subjects, and then accumulate the evidence of based on the new knowledge. The importance is the word meticulous is very important. As such, you are collecting 1,000 of patients looking daily, and then you can do the analysis. But that we cannot do a meticulous research. Observational is okay, but for the purpose of experimentation, meticulous facts are very important. And the observation, if you collect and sort out in the systematic manner, in the group, you can make a group, you can find out the means, etc. And on that day, I talked about the variable matrix of the variables. When you write your project proposal, when you collect the data, all of you must at least prepare a matrix of variables, and then the various permutation combination, you should be looking for the association. And then once you analyze the data, then you try to formulate new theory. Then it could be in the scientific method, one thing would be objective observation. Observation, if four people are observing, they may see the different things. It's okay. But you should be clear cut that you should observe in this manner. Suppose injection is given by hundred of people all over the nation, but you are doing a scientific method study that whether the injections are given properly or not. In that, you write down in a steps, 10, 15 steps will be there. Whether they wash their hand or not, whether the area is cleaned properly or not, whether the vial was taken properly or not, what the kind of angle was there for the injection. You divide them into particular part, and then each step is observed. That is an objective observation. Otherwise, it was right or wrong, that's all, final. Then there is a logical reason why this happens like this. Few people are not following a proper method. So what could be the reason? The reason could be the workers themselves may be suffering from anemia, or they themselves have a social disruption at home, or their wages may be too low, something like that. Or facility may not be there, shop may not be there for clean hands. So reason we need to find out. Then comes the formulation of hypothesis fitting the data. Why this happens? How? That is, if without formulating the hypothesis, you cannot prove or disprove it. So this is important. And then you might have given this idea, but then there are other possibilities also, not only because of this. Let's say, I will give an example. Uh, there is a season of harvesting and the banana, growing banana. So in that season, when they sleep under the banana tree, they say that while sleeping under the banana, the trees, there is a lot of anemia. So, do you agree that by sleeping under the banana trees, there could be anemia? Do you think by sleeping under the banana trees, can there be anemia? Just write yes or no. Can there be anemia by sleeping under, I don't use the word tree, the banana plant? What do you think? No, right? By sleeping somewhere the plants, how there could be the anemia? In Gujarati, they say લોહીનું પાણી થઈ જાય. કેળાના છોડની નીચે સૂઈ જઈએ તો. Now see, when we are denying, it's okay, but the truth is it is possible because they go for open defecation. There's a lot of the land utilized for the banana plant is a porous, and also they give an intermittent water supply, and there's an ideal situation for the hookworm. And because of sleeping the almost exposed body part in the under the banana, lots of hookworm infestations there, and hookworms are likely to cause anemia. So we need to look at other possibilities. We need not throw away their theories that this is not possible, this is their myth, and this is the traditional thinking, etc. So predict other possibilities also. And then when you do some scientific method, you repeat the experiment and find out whether it is the same or not. So research, it is there. The truth is hidden, and you need to bring it out. Now, this is something where you should be concentrating a little bit, because when you observe day-to-day thing, and now we are going for making a writing a project proposal. So your research question, research idea will come from this brainstorming. Observation, we have a five senses. So when you observe something, try to utilize your five senses. It's not necessary that we need to use all the five senses every time, but whenever is possible. So there is a, let's say, infection is there, then the smell is proper or not, that also you can see. Usually you can look at your eyes also, but when the patient comes to the patient, the palpation method can also be there. Also, the mostly the hearing, you listen properly to the patients and other people also, and then you analyze, right? And while you do the analysis, think critically that how this can happen, and that how it can it be because of this or in spite of this? Again, I repeatedly telling you that use the word both. Is it in spite of this or it is because of this? And the both tools are necessary. Without observation, you should not use your logic, and your observation without reasoning will also not be help. So you require both logic and as well as observation. Now, these two words, you forget these two words, inductive and deductive, there is no problem. There's no need to remember these two words. But the gist of this is very important. inductive and deductive reasoning. So before we go for inductive and deductive, you need to understand the difference between the science and spirituality. Science is dissecting in general. If there's in the whole world is there, then there are so many human beings. Out of that one human being, there's a various organs. Out of that, which part, which cell, among that, which chemical changes, etc. So in science, we dissect the things as much as possible. We analyze the thing. While spirituality is seeing in unity. If you are studying an individual as a whole, the individual represent the universe also. So that the together, if you go for spirituality as well as science together, then you will understand the life properly, or you will understand your project also properly. In this inductive reasoning, you are going from specific to general. You are a specific ideas, two, three, four ideas, and then you generalize based on that. And you find out, yes, this could be the pattern from a specific to generalization. So from one or two or four, five items, you make a theory. That is inductive reasoning. In deductive reasoning, you have a theory, and based on that, you predict that this should happen. And actually, this that happens or not, you'll find out, and then you confirm your theory or you will negate the theory. So, inductive reasoning and deductive reasoning. This is inductive method, there are observation,
हेलो।
and based on that,
राष्ट्रीय की जाती
you are
कैसे आ रहा तू?
preparing your
अरे कैसे आ रहा होगा?
hypothesis.
अरे छुट्टी तो है ना अभी।
नहीं नहीं 23 में।
ओके
I
ओके, तू
think
तो एक बैच बड़ा है।
और इतनी
I
जल्दी
गुड
मिल
आफ्टरनून
गया।
मैम। हाँ, तू तो एक
why
बैच बड़ा है ना।
why
अरे यार, छोटे
somebody
छोटे बच्चे आ गए ना बेचारे। हो तुम्हारी क्लासेस कब से हैं? शुरू हो गई?
yes person, you should not have unmuted that. Yeah. If any one of you want to ask something, you should be here. See to it that your mic is not uh, unmuted unless you want to the uh, ask some question. So inductive, you have observation based on you are preparing a theory. While in deductive method, you have a theory and your observation. If it matches, you are confirming your theory. If it doesn't match, then you are rejecting the theory. Now, if you have 10 times matching theory, observation matching 10 times, but one time it rejects thing. So this rejection is more powerful than the affirmation. This is to be remembered. So in medical research, we'll take few examples whereby you should be using both inductive as well as deductive approaches. So before I go for examples, if anybody want to interrupt me, you can do that. So now some examples of inductive approach and deductive approach. And all of your project proposal, in that you should be writing that which approach you are going to take. You can take both approach also. That will be much better. So women tend to have a lower heart attack compared to the man. Postmenopausal women have much higher heart attack rates, and postmenopausal women on estrogen tend to have lower heart attack rates. If these are the observation, then general thing is estrogen offers protection from heart attack. That is the inductive approach. Now, in deductive approach, suppose you have a theory that estrogen offers protection from heart attack. Now you do the experiment, you do the control trials with a postmenopausal woman and give a estrogen to one group, don't give to another group, and find out whether there is a protection or not. If it doesn't provide the protection, then we can say that hypothesis is not substantiated. So this is a deductive approach, that was inductive approach. And together there is a continuum. So you do the research. If it's possible, if you have enough time, 1 or 2 years, you can uh, use both the methods. Another example, green leafy vegetables consumption is associated with lower incidence of lung cancer. There's an observation, those who are taking it. And it's true that it is rich in vitamin A. And vitamin A, if it's given, then it reverses the early pre-malignant changes in the epithelium. So these are the observations. From that, we go to the theory that it is the inductive if inference would be beta carotene may offer protection from lung cancer. Now, this we want to prove it or disprove it, then we'll be going for deductive. So, hypothesis is there that beta carotene may offer protection from lung cancer. Now, we do the various tests to find out whether this is true or not. So, let's do randomized control trial. Give one beta carotene tablet, another give the placebo, and then try to compare, right? And then find out whether it is a supportive or not, whether it is a preventing or not, right? So cancer incidence was higher among those who received beta carotene supplements, right? Was not. That means it offers no protection from lung cancer, in spite it was given. Even if it is together is the same, you can say that it is not giving protection. So this is the deductive. Here the word affirmative evidence. You go on making up this happens because of this happens because of this. There is an affirmative evidence. Go on doing this. Then there's another thing. We'll say that the refuting a theory. One say it doesn't do this. So both are can be done simultaneously also. But this refuting a theory is more powerful than the accepting the affirmative branch. And few examples, the circulation, this also you can, today also you can find out where are your veins. Then the scurvy is a very known that the vitamin C rich food was given and they could prevent the scurvy in the sailors. Jon Snow, everybody understand that to find out the causation, that water is the causative agent before they can find out the cholera in the cholera as a bacteria. And use of penicillin was also very good. And gradually now we are focusing on lifestyle diseases. And this large scale cohort study, Birmingham like study, is now possible if the medical colleges they work together. We have 1 lakh medical students in all over India. And this one medical students, each of them follow 5 families for 5 years. Then we'll have 5 lakh families to be followed up. That 5 lakh families means 25 lakh population. So 25 lakh population to be followed for 5 years. And the same families may be followed up by another lot of students. So we can think of the years together in India, we can have a long-term cohort studies is possible. And then if we have such a sampling frame, then among this frame, we can have randomized clinical trials or case control studies or nested case control studies, everything we can have in this huge sampling frame. And it will be much, much better than framing our study. And nowadays, the multi-centric research studies is getting momentum. That is because in clinical epidemiology, you have a fewer cases, 5 cases or here, 5 cases there. So if we can consider this multi-centric research study, it will be much better. So I will stop sharing over here. If you have some question, otherwise We did talk about the innovation. Talked about something on research. Then we'll be moving for the central tendency also today itself. Any question? So write at least two words from this 40 minutes session, two words which you like most, write two words so that I can find out whether you are with me or not. And then we'll go for the central tendency. And that experiment is to be done by all of you. Sandeep Jadhav is with the group, is not sleeping. What's about others? There are 5 students. One student replied, not others. Anyway, this okay. Simple is not enough. Simple size is less. Meenakshi, Sudha, can you write two words? Okay, I will again go to this tendency. A few minutes on data presentation quickly, and then we'll go for the center tendency. We'll take only few minutes on this because all of you know this quickly. But then you should be ready with this. Tabulation of the data is very simple for you nowadays. But this frequency you should be getting before you start the uh, research study. You should have hypothetical data presentation, and then you go for the actual research study. This frequency distribution, now it's in terms of percentages, the data is grouped. This simple looking thing, x-axis is a horizontal, y-axis is a vertical, and y should be representing number of observation and x giving the actual measurements. Now this simple looking the histogram is the basis of standard normal distribution curve. So you should be clear that each column is representing few numbers. I repeat, each column represents some numbers. And there is a width and there is a height. That multiplication is the area. This area represents numbers. And when it comes to about a standard normal distribution curve, this concept of area should be in your mind. And now you are joining the midpoint of the column and you are getting a frequency polygon. The same thing will happen in terms of the normal curve, normal distribution curve. So this concept you should have this frequency polygon, that this area definitely suggests some numbers, right? And this cumulative, the frequency curve is for the purpose of percentile and not for the purpose of normal distribution curve. This is a line diagram. We need a histogram much more for normal distribution curve. This horizontal bar diagram, vertical bar diagram, everything you know. Pie chart, 360. And the dots, series 1, series 2 could be there. There's a infant's date showing a map. Right? This one dot means 1,000 infant, year 2000 infant, there's like that. So from this, I would like to go to the frequency central frequency. Now the word central tendency is important. Suppose you are finding out the mean of the population based on a sample, then first sample, second sample, third sample, as you go on measuring more and more samples, your answer is more likely to come to the center, to the real mean. As the meaning of central tendency. If you do one experiment, two, three, as you go on, more and more experiment, you will go much nearer to that, the center value or the mean values. Now, here the word mean. Mean gives an estimate of center in the terms of averages. Right? Here it looks very big one compared to this two one. Still, it is in a balance. So the process of standardization is very important when you are finding out mean of anything. The data could offer different category, the different age groups, different social condition. So when you compare two population and you want to find out the mean, it is much better to section the population in a similar groups with the population, do the standardization, that will be much better. And the mean you are getting simple from total observation, make a sum, and then divide by the number of observation. This summation and then average, everybody knows it. So I'm not going to in depth, but then there are other things also. In there is something like mean, median, and mode in central tendency. But then we need to talk about the variations, range, variance, and standard deviation. Based on that, if you consider both the things together, then only we'll be able to compare the data. Now, when we are talking about the statistical analysis, either you are talking about the population based on a sample or you want to compare two population. I repeat this. If you have note and pen, I think you should write down this because which statistical test is to be utilized is based on this. Why want to use statistics? You want to compare two population or you want to have some kind of inference about the population based on a sample. This is what is going to happen. Or there could be multiple population also. And to comparison purpose, then you will have the what you want to use for mean or you want to use median or mode. So fortunately, the AP info is giving all the three things together along with the standard deviation and also the range and also percentile. Now, median is the middle value. You arrange the data in decreasing or increasing order, and then you find out the middle value that will be the median. This is an example, right? And but in case of the number is not the clear cut, no, you middle you can find out middle value. If this is a let's say 11, you can find out the middle value. But in case of 10, you can't find out the middle value. So you can have two middle values, then divide by two, and you can find out the exact median. Here you can see there are two medians. You are dividing by two, and you are getting the middle values. And median gives a 50 percentile. 50% is in the middle. And in the mode is the most frequently occurring the value. That's the word used. Here the mode is 4.9. Right? So there could be more than one mode also. For example, when you talk about accidents, accidents will be more in the youth as well as at the old age, like this. So bimodal distribution. So we have the mean, median, and mode. Mean means arithmetic average. Median is the middle value, and mode is the most frequently MO, most frequently occurring value. That's the mode. And the mean will give the balance point, median will give the middle value, and mode is the most frequent. Now we'll be going. The next thing would be the measures of dispersion. This session measure of dispersion is a very useful to understand the standard normal distribution curve, then the standard deviation and the p-value also. So this is a something which you should be attentive. And the next time when we meet, uh, we'll be definitely talking about the in project proposal, what are the points you should cover, but then also what are the variables you are going to use it. And definitely your variables will be of both the types, from where you can find out the mean and from where you can find out the proportions. Right? Now, if you say that I want to compare the mean income of the people of Pakistan and mean income of people of India, in that, if you only take a mean of both the population, then it will not give the correct answer. So you need to find out something, how much it deviates from the mean. That is how the population is dispersed around the mean. That you need to talk about. So in dispersion, if you look at the three means over here, all the means are same, but the actual observation are different. So this line you should keep in mind that comparing mean of only two population or three population is not sufficient. We need to look at how the observation are arranged around the mean. Now here, let me repeat that the population in demography is number of people, while population in statistics is number of observations. So this, for example, I take a height of 1,000 people. So 1,000 people is a population for demography, while 1,000 heights, that is a population in statistics. This fundamental difference you should understand. Other word, when I use the word parameter, it is a population base. When I use the word variable, usually we use this word in sample. When we talk about the population, we talk about the parameter. When we talk about the sample, we use the word variable. Now, we'll end at this only, and then we'll stop over here because next time we'll be going higher. One thing is range, minimum and maximum. Between that, there's a range. Variance will be the basically mean and then observation. That difference, we make it a square and make a total, there's a variance. And standard deviation will be root of that. There is a standard deviation. And the coefficient of variation will compare the two things. What is the mean and the standard deviation? That comparison will give a coefficient of variation and interquartile range, 25 to 50%, 0 to 25%, that. So this we end over here. And then next time we'll be going for normal distribution curve. Right? So I hope that at least you will be taking 20 observation, if possible, correct observation. Try to make a graph out of that, and we'll see that what do we mean by a normal distribution, usual distribution, etc. And the our this standard normal distribution curve, that will be the main thing to understand about p-value. People say that lesser the p-value, more significant. Why it should be like that? If it's a less, Why it should be more significant? Why it's the reverse? The thing is very simple. And next time we'll talk about this. But then you should remember this one word. P means probability of event occurring by chance. Write this in chat box, at least one or two. P means, or write down in your notebook, probability of event occurring by chance. P means probability of event occurring by chance. If you remember this, based on this, we'll move further. Why, if P is less than 0.05, we are calling at a significant. And other thing, we'll be using the word unit 1. In statistics, even here, you have 1,000 population, 1 crore, 10 crore, or let's say 5 million, 10 billion. Everything is equivalent to the 1. And in cent per cent, we call it as equivalent to 100%. So the 100% is equal to 1 in probability. Based on this, we build up the next session. And I'm sure that once you attend the next session, you will never forget the p-value. And based on that will be after that lecture, which statistical test is to be used where. And at last 8th or 9th session, we'll be talking about non-parametric test also, where you can apply for the small sample size. So now we have few minutes left. And if you want to ask any question, then the forum is open for you to ask a question. And some of you who have not joined can join from 9th July onwards, the evening classes, which will be between 7 to 8 p.m. So that the interaction is very important. Any question? So if there's no question, I can stop for here. Thank you.